Well, the Prince of Wales and the Duchess of Cornwall are just inside the house attending a private ceremony with the bereaved families of those soldiers who didn't make it back. 12 soldiers from the 1st Battalion, the Mercian Regiment, were killed in their last deployment. Now, the Prince earlier today presented around 80 soldiers with medals. He, of course, is the Commander-in-Chief of this regiment, and so a proud moment for all involved. Now, onto the subject that's on everyone's lips. Did the Prince refer to that big wedding at the end of April? Well, perhaps predictably he stayed tight-lipped about it, perhaps wanting the focus to be on this special occasion today.
Alpa Patel explains.
He is the man of the moment. At 26, an Ashes legend, scoring more runs in a series down under than any other Englishman in 80 years.
Oh, lovely.
This is one of the moments he must have savoured. Cook eventually scoring a mammoth 766 runs throughout the series, and helping to secure an Ashes series win in Australia for the first time in 24 years.
Good afternoon. A ship packed with £100 million in money bound for Libya has been stopped off the coast of the UK and escorted into Harwich docks. The vessel was accompanied into the Essex port by HMC Vigilant. Kate Prout joins us now from the newsroom. Kate. Now, there are fears high fuel prices are behind a big increase in thefts from petrol stations. It's after reports a police car is guarding a petrol station on the A14 in Suffolk to stop people driving off without paying. The AA says the rise in costs is driving people to steal petrol.
This is the man suspected of shooting US Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords. Gerald Lee Loeffner is 22 and described as having a troubled past. Gabrielle Giffords, a rising star of the Democrat Party, was shot in the head while she met with constituents outside a supermarket in Arizona on Saturday. The county sheriff had strong words for a worrying culture developing in his country.
Yes, I'm standing at the War Memorial here in Great Yarmouth, where just an hour ago I spoke to the mother of Regimental Sergeant Major Darren Chant. He was one of 5 soldiers who was shot dead on Tuesday. Darren Chant was married. He married only 3 months ago, and his wife is expecting their child in 3 months' time. I spoke to his mother, who told us how proud she is of her son and also how angry she is at the way he died. Darren Chant's body will be brought back on Tuesday, where I understand Gordon Brown will be present for that service, as will a member of the royal family.
This is Michael Jackson's bodyguard, Alberto Alvarez. He was the first security guard to reach Jackson's room after word came that something was wrong the night Jackson died. He described a shocking scene at the LA courtroom. The King of Pop was on his bed, connected to an IV tube and to a catheter. He said his eyes and mouth were open, and Dr. Conrad Murray was leaning over him, doing one-handed chest compressions.
According to national guidelines, babies born at less than 22 weeks should not be resuscitated, as it's not considered to be in the best interests of the child. Baby Jaden was 21 weeks and 5 days. That's just 2 days short of the recommendations. The survival rates of babies born below 22 weeks are very low. In 2005, 212 such babies were born. Only 3 survived. But the recent case of baby Amelia Taylor, born in Florida after just 21 weeks, has added fuel to the debate. She's believed to be the most premature baby to survive and was born only slightly bigger than a ballpoint pen. Amelia Taylor is not believed to have any disability. This inquest has returned a verdict of accidental death. The coroner, Jacqueline Lake, said today there was a clear conflict in the evidence. 44-year-old Michael Harland was the head of flight operations for BAE Systems. He died on a test flight out of RAF Marham in November 2007. Well, we know now that Mr. Boone was a convicted paedophile, and so for police his past is a natural line of inquiry. In the last hour they've told us that because of the nature of his convictions, they'd be foolish not to look into the possibility that he was killed in a revenge attack. But they've also said this is just one possible motive and that it's no more likely than any other. Well, their love story is one of the most talked about in history today. 20 pieces of jewellery go on sale, formerly owned by the Duchess of Windsor. They are expected to fetch at least £3 million. Now, why is this collection so interesting? Well, it shows an insight between these two, Wallis Simpson and King Edward VIII. He, of course, abdicated his throne for her. Well, I'm now joined by Daniela Machetti. Daniela, tell us about the most interesting piece in this collection.
Good afternoon from Anglia News. Around 500 soldiers from Suffolk-based 2-3 Engineer Regiment left for Helmand Province in the early hours of this morning. It's the third tour of Afghanistan for the regiment, which will be supporting troops from the 16 Air Assault Brigade. Yesterday, a church service was held in their barracks town of Woodbridge. Laura Burns reports. That's it. Jonathan and Becky are back with Anglia tonight at 6 o'clock. But for now, from all of us here, have a good afternoon, won't you?